function.
Really exist, yeah.
Can I make faces over here or what?
Yeah, go ahead. Are you rolling? Okay, anyway, your name is Andrew Gronholdt, correct?
Yes, it is.
And I know you're here teaching the Aleut hat making course. Where do you currently live?
Edmonds, Washington.
Edmonds, Washington? And were you born out in this region, or?
Or Sandpoint.
In Sandpoint? Oh, that's right. I seem to recall several Gronholdts from Sandpoint. Is there quite a clan of Gronholdts in Sandpoint still?
I think there's only, well, the nephews.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some more left there yet.
Yeah? Well, Andrew, what I wanted to ask is how you've got into making these hats. When did you first start making these hats?
About 6 years ago.
You just started 6 years ago? That's something.
I retired, and I had to have something to do, work with wood all my life, rebuilding and repairing wooden boats. So when I started off with making Aleut boat pump. That was the beginning. And then from there I went to working models of Aleut foxtrot. And then from there I tried a duck trap. And then from there I made the atlatl throwing thing.
Uh-huh.
So long as it was wood, I was trying to make them. And then I started looking at hats. I really wanted to make one.
And so did you just do some research on how that was done, or?
Naturally.
Yeah, naturally.
But there is no, the thing I found out, I haven't found anybody sitting down watching a guy do the bending. You know, how they heated it, or used hot water or steam or some other process. I've never found it.
You have no idea how it was originally done?
No, not that I know of. And all the writing is all about the painting, what that means. And if there was a little curl that was a little bit different, it meant something else. And well, who knows? I mean, that was the way they wrote it down.
How they actually constructed the hats is more of a mystery then.
That's right.
Than the significance of the designs they painted on them.
Somebody said, well, they dug a hole in the sand, they lined it with kelp, and they had a fire, with lots of rocks, and then they threw the rocks in to try and get some heat. Well, it's possible. And when you read the rest of it, they didn't just go ahead and bend it like we do, in a few minutes. They bent, and then when it got tight, they tied it, and they put it back in the water again. So you can do that.
I see.
And then keep on working.
I see.
But my idea is, so those people that were closest to it, there's a lot of hot springs all over. And it's ideal. You can just dump them in there and.
I see. That could be the clue. Yeah, there are hot springs here, and all throughout the chain.
I've been to Alaska. You can just put your hand on it. That's it. So those people that were close to those things, I think they used them for cooking.
Yeah, that could very well be. So this frame here, this is your own design, then?
Well,
this system?
Yeah, with my brother-in-law. I was down in his basement one day, and I asked him if I could play around with trying to make a hat. He said, go ahead. So I went down and I started off with just nailing these two sticks on a piece of wood, and I put the hat in there after I had it formed. And then I couldn't get the back because I didn't have that, to get it right. But I did make it. But then when it was cooling off, it changed, shape.
Uh-huh.
So you couldn't hold it in one spot. So the next time I did it, I put strings across here, and then tied it down. Well, you try to make the hat, nice form to it, I guess. So when you put wedges in the string, it would pull too tight on this, and you push the other side down. Then he suggested this here, we put it on one side and the other just part ways, and then I improved on it. So that's what I come out and I made it back. So now I slip it in there and all it goes around you. All you fight now is the back here. Just takes care of itself. This
I see.
and,
So
then they have a shorter riser
Mm-hmm.
in the front here, and it's made off the same form. I have inserts you put in here and alongside here to take care of the shorter form.
So you make both saw hats with the same one.
Not the same jig.
I see.
And to bring all this up here, I made them collapsible.
Or you just take the screws out?
Took all the screws off the layer flat.
Well, that's pretty handy. So you've been training people here in Alaska how to make these hats. You've been running a class here all week?
Yes, I have.
And
I really enjoyed it. Some of them, most of them, just grabbed on real early on it, and then they started helping one another. It was great.
So you think your students have been pretty successful so
Oh,
far?
absolutely.
I understand we have a few coming out of their forms tonight. We're going to come back and maybe film, and the truth will really come out then, I guess.
No, we did good. It's right after we got this here crab cooker. Actually, spent a day and a half or more just chasing down steam sources. Every time we got to one, there was something wrong.
Oh, well, maybe we could use a dishwasher here at the school.
So
I
we
guess.
ended up yesterday, and I know we could never steam outside even with the cooker because the weather was so bad. And then somehow we got permission to come in here, and nice and warm, and everything was here, and we put the stuff right there and started cooking. And boy, it was easy.
Everything came out pretty easy that way. I mean, I noticed you were constructing the steam box and everything here the other day. I was here,
Well, that's a good rig there. Because when you're doing a lot of hats, you could put the short ones on one end and the longer ones on the other end, so you're not mixed up too much. But you have to have the right steam source for it.
Has to be a pretty consistent source. And you were here during World War II, I understand. When did you first come to Alaska?
Came here 1940 in August, and I stayed till I think April 41. Put up the first buildings over there in Dutch Harbor.
Really? Up on what they call Sandro Hill today?
Oh no, that was down below, right up from the dock. Started down there, and Standard Oil was in the spring of the year in 41. That was the last buildings that worked. And then I went home fishing.
Like the same point.
And then 1942, I came back and went out to Chernovsky and Unangax while they were finishing up the base at Unangax.
Uh-huh.
Had a little experience out there. We were going across. We had I was engineer on a small harbor tug. We were towing things across, and this day they said we could go across there because they may need some help to shuttle to the beach. We got part ways out there, and it was still 12 miles away, and I could see the Navy battleship there and some transports, and all of a sudden the lights were flashing. Identify yourself.
Uh-oh.
Well, how do they know that somebody on there could read that on a little tiny tub like that? So it said, identify yourself, and I could read it. So did the skipper. I could read it. So it says, and then nothing happened. They repeated that twice. We just kept on going, and then came back again. Identify yourself. Identify yourself. We will open fire in 3 minutes. So he said, what are we going to do now? I said, well, we call heave to. In other words, you just lay there and drift. So 3 minutes was up. Nothing happened. And the light comes on again. Okay, come in. Oh, boy, what a relief that was.
What a relief, huh?
So I worked out there, and then I went home, came through Dutch Harbor, and 6 days after I got home, then they bombed Dutch Harbor.
6 days after you left to go back to Sand Point, huh?
Yeah.
And did you come back after that? Or was that?
Well, I came back several times after that. I came out here with a mineral exploration company that spent 30 days in McCushion. We were up in the hills there, drilling holes. And had another nice experience there. All the days we were here, we had about 2,000 foot overcast. And we were drilling 2,200 feet. Sometime we had to land underneath there and walk that distance up to the drill site because it was thick. So one day we were going to go out further west of Scam Bay and down towards Kashiga and prospecting. Got off the deck of the boat and I looked up and here was Makushin volcano. It was just clear as a bell. So I tapped the geologist on the back like that, pointed. Said, away we went. We headed for the volcano instead.
Took part of the day out. Huh?
Yeah, and it was throwing the steam way up there. It's about 3,000 feet or more. Just a great big column. So we went on up there and with the helicopter, a little small helicopter. We cruised around the crater and see if any rocks were flying out or anything like that. And it looked all right. So we went away from the crater and landed on the ice field. Left the engine running in case we had to get away in a hurry. And then we walked over to the volcano crater. As we got away from the noise from the chopper, then you could hear the mountain rumbling. So we got over there and rushed around, took a lot of pictures. And the head geologist and I started going down into the crater. And the noise and the steam and the heat down there, until we turned around and run back up again. And then even the bottom of the feet was getting warm. The surface was pretty warm. So that was the venture.
You got out of there with a little hot foot.
Yes. But the sound, I describe the sound as if you've seen especially a 747 if you're sitting in the airport and it's going down the runway and it lifts off and it gets up there, you hear that boom, 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 boom. That was the volcano. It was noisy, really noisy. And then there was all kinds of other little vents, and each one of them had their own sounds. It was quite something to listen to.
A natural orchestra up there, huh?
It was okay.
Well, we'd like to thank you very much for your time here. I think maybe we'll go through a little bit more step-by-step of the hat-making process here, what you do, but we'll do that maybe a little bit more hands-on here. So thank you for being with us, Andrew.
I survived it.
I knew you would.
You did great. You were just like a
great.
star, like Johnny Carson. You
I wouldn't worry about him too much.
Can I make a little note here?
You sure can.
Okay. What's
So,
up?
so can we go through the, just, can you show me the forms for the, all the steps, maybe?
What's that?
Can we, I know that you were starting to show me how to, this is the beginning stage, this is the whatever. I know you have hats in all stages. Right now you've got,
Well, we don't have it.
oh, we have three. Do they come every night?
Yep.
Oh, I get it.
Invited to the art of Aleut hat making. And we'd also like to say thanks to the sponsors, which include the University of Alaska, the City of Unalaska, the Unalaska School, and Peninsula Airways, as well as the Unalaska Corporation, all for helping making Andrew's trip here possible and successful.
Yesterday, several of the boys were sitting out in the hall, right? Well, throwing food in the lunchroom, so they were taken out from the lunchroom, sitting there eating.
Now we want to
And they
stick.
were still flipping food in their spoon.
You have to do it. Somebody has to hang on to it.
And I
Little
happened,
Travis?
yeah.
Stick underneath.
So I happened to walk into the line of fire, and I knew the kids, I knew that they were in trouble when they're out in the hall, but I didn't realize what they were doing when I walked around.
Little Travis got you?
I turned around because I walked into the line of fire. He was after Peter.
Marty, did you have to make your metal mold too?
No.
okay.
Andrew made all of these.
Am I in the
Okay, we start over.
No, you can't make them. Well,
Never know.
take your tray when you're empty. We're going to so they went down to the
Right in the center.
We're going to come to
Pretty close.
They did the name of Master Code and Burger. Are you all right?
Like a cross-eyed.
I told her, you should have just taken him, his pants down the boots to be right there in the hall.
We can't do that.
I know, but she was just going on like that. He needed a good scare, and now left my pencil here.
You didn't mark
I got a bunch of
it back
pencils.
Before you took it off.
But it was really nice. She was
Well, let's do that so we know when to come back.
embarrassing her. In fact, this is mine. It says Alina on it.
Then it's yours. Well, I didn't think I was putting it in a box like that.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what I left.
But it was so funny. His eyes got that this big, like, oh my God, he got caught again.
Like you did when I wore my
We need
Freddy
some
Krueger suit over there.
String or
I'm
something.
not scared.
Right.
Not me, huh?
What was the string on?
Yep. Color coding, when you put them in there, this belongs to who, and say we're putting in there, somebody, three
Nice
different
looking.
people in there. And then you put red, you put one for the right side, two for the left. And then the next guy has a different color. I could
We used last.
show how it is.
With the different molds, this means that I can't make it stick. Mine
That's good. Find a new cap.
We have
So
to
it's like a separate-
It works on screen. It's just you gotta try it.
Will that work?
Wait, you take one of them.
Come on, let's put a clamp on it then. Put a bigger one. We need all the little ones. You might have to change.
This one. Okay.
That's where the markers fit. We don't go over that. Somebody help hold that thing.
Isn't that clamp too big though? Well, I guess you can leave it upside down. Pretty nice. You want the string, Marty? This'll work as string.
We're going to have to change because we're going to have to use these clamps on some of the bigger
We'll make it
ones.
start?
Put some of
Okay.
the bigger ones on there.
Okay.
Looks good.
See how this happens here. It's different this way. When you put it on, it'll show like this on top.
Hold it up again.
Oh, you do?
Be a star. Yeah. When I do
Like this?
I'll get the steamer going a little bit for the number 2 and the number 4 and the late one.
these have been steaming how long?
We're steaming about 25 minutes.
And then it's set to dry. for-
Dry, I prefer it to dry, so we were having a hard time pushing it back here. Leave it on the form. My own place, I leave it 5 days at least. Now we're cutting short.
Yeah. So how long do you think?
This is on the 3rd day.
Is it just?
They have to be absolutely dry. Or else they'll taste it.
Oh, they will.
This is supposed to be this hat here.
How do you do?
Ooh.
Good.
Beautiful.
God, Jim, it's not even centered on your head.
Too far down in the front. Lift it up a little. There you are.
There you go.
Kind of heavy though, it doesn't
You like grooves in on the sides here so they could fit together. So it's ready to go in the steamer.
And is this your first steaming?
Yes,
So you're getting psyched?
very excited.
I want to see something steam because I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah, gonna do that pretty soon. I got one in here ready.